Good morning, subscribers, viewers. Um, um, this broadcast is dedicated to Zimbabweans who are based outside the country, expatriates, as we are called. The good news is that the Zimbabwean government has now decided to reopen the border. All the land border posts that were closed, you remember that since the first COVID lockdowns, Zimbabwe closed her borders, uh, and only returning citizens would have been allowed. Then when they began to open them, they only opened for commercial vehicles. So now, yesterday, the cabinet decided to reopen all land borders, which means that Zimbabweans can now freely and uh, they can now freely travel back home. No, so the government decided that yesterday, and the Minister of Information, Mrs. Monica Mtswanga, made the announcement that all persons entering Zimbabwe are now allowed to go back home or to pass through Zimbabwe. On condition that they've undergone a valid COVID-19 PCR test not more than 48 hours from the time of their departure for Zimbabwe, and that they are fully vaccinated. She also said that those who have received a booster vaccine should have an entry advantage. Now, the government is saying that there's been a decline in the number of new cases and deaths reported per day, but despite that, strict enforcement of all COVID-19 regulations, coupled with a strengthened risk communication on the pandemic, will continue since the pandemic is not over yet. So now we believe that this is going to come as good news to Zimbabweans, especially those that were traveling back home, because we know that they were being charged exorbitant amounts, while usually it was just 300 rand or 400 in the most to go back to Zimbabwe during normal times. We hear that people were being charged around 1,500 now to go back to Zimbabwe, because entry to individuals was not legalized by then. But now we believe that after this new move by the government, people will have a cheaper travel back home. Those who want to visit their relatives and come back, they will have a cheaper travel because now the borders have been opened. What this means is that all all borders that provide entry into Zimbabwe for individuals can now be accessed without further hassle, without having to cut corners, without having to pay an exorbitant amount, as was the case during these past 2 years when the borders were closed. The government also says that there will be continued COVID assessment, there will be continued COVID risk assessment, there will be continued measures to try and deal with the COVID vaccine, with the COVID infections that are happening in the country, and the Treasury will release adequate funds to support the vaccine risk communication and community engagement campaigns. So Zimbabweans, the border has been opened. We hope this is going to be utilized by especially those who could not go home because they feared the exorbitant amounts that they were going to be charged in the border. We'll get more information if there is anything more that needs to be communicated with you in terms of this latest move by the government. But for now, we believe that this is the cause for celebration. Have a good day. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much.